Yesterday was the State of the Union address when the dementia patient, some call the President of the United States, mumbled and screamed at the American people about how things are going in our country.
If you try anything to raise the cost of precision jobs, I will veto it.
The cost of what?
If you try anything to raise the cost of precision jobs, I will veto it. Autocracy has grown weaker, not stronger. Name me a world leader who changed places with Xi Jinping. Name me one. Name me one.
Okay, dude, just calm down. We'll get you your ice cream, okay? Of course, we couldn't have a Democrat giving the State of the Union address without them perpetuating the myth that systemic racism is keeping black and brown people down because white people are secretly conspiring against them.
Most of us in here have never had to have the talk that brown and black parents have had to have with their children. Bo, Hunter, Ashley, my children. I never had to have the talk with them.
Well, we know you had a shower with Ashley, but that's a whole other story.
I never had to tell them if a police officer pulls you over, turn your interior lights on right away. Don't reach for your license. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Imagine having to worry like that every single time.
Actually, I think that's what's taught in driver's ed class, sir. But in case you weren't paying attention, comedian Chris Rock put together this quality PSA probably 20 years ago now, trying to help black people understand what they should do if they do get pulled over by the police.
If you follow these easy tips, you'll be fine. First, obey the law.
Racist.
Laws were made for a reason. Think of them as hints. You've heard people say, man, I wouldn't do that shit if I was you. Well, here's some of that shit. When you see flashing police lights in your mirror, stop immediately. Everybody knows, if the police have to come and get you, they're bringing an ass kicking with them. When an officer approaches your car, be polite.
Is there a problem, officer?
And stay in your car with your hands on the wheel.
What the do you want, mother?
Thankfully, Republicans pushed back against some of his lies, like when he claimed that they're going to be the ones who take away Social Security and Medicare.
All of you at home should know what those plans are. Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of the proposal. That means Congress doesn't vote. Well, I'm glad to see you. No, I tell you,
That's how to deal with a liar. Since liberals always accuse others of doing the exact same thing that they themselves are guilty of, it will be Democrats who deny Social Security payments to Americans. But not all Americans, only the ones that saved for retirement, investing in a 401k or an IRA for 30 or 40 years and didn't live beyond their means and didn't buy things that they didn't need with money they didn't have and were fortunate enough to pay off their mortgage after 30 years and have a little nest egg in home equity. Then at that point, the Democrats will say that those people already have enough money to live and the United States is totally broke and bankrupt. And so they're not going to pay Social Security to anybody who has $100,000 in their IRA or who has paid off their house. When I first saw photos of this I love abortion pin floating around social media, I thought it was a meme, but it turns out that it actually is. Democrat Senator Ed Markey from Massachusetts, who wore this proudly to the State of the Union address. You could see the little heart in the O of abortion. He loves abortion. And many senior citizens lose track of time. The days just fly by. They don't know what day of the week it is. And in some cases, like Bernie Sanders, he doesn't know what year it is. He thinks that we're still in 2020, and he wore his N95 face mask to the State of the Union. Something else very strange happened, and I hope that you're not eating. Joe Biden's caretaker, Jill, appears to be in some kind of open relationship with Kamala Harris and her husband, Doug, who they call the first gentleman. I'm sorry, but American people should know what kind of strangeness is happening right out in the open there in Washington, D.C. We would expect this kind of degeneracy at the Grammys, but not during the State of the Union address. Donald Trump then posted this video on Truth Social titled The Real State of the Union Address, and listening to just a few seconds of it, it definitely does sound like a speech that an actual president would give about the actual state of the country instead of the mumbling mess that Joe Biden presented.
Here's the real State of the Union. Over the past 2 years under Biden, millions and millions of illegal aliens from 160 different countries have stormed across our southern border. Drug cartels are now raking in billions of dollars from smuggling poison to kill our people and to kill our children. Savage killers, rapists, and violent criminals are being released from jail to continue their crime wave, and under Biden, the murder rate has reached the highest in the history of our country.
Well, we are a collapsing empire, sadly.
Biden and the radical Democrats have wasted trillions of dollars and caused the worst inflation in half a century. Real wages are down 21 months in a row. Gas prices have soared and are now going up much higher than even before. And the typical American family is paying $2,200 in increased energy and food costs each year. Joe Biden's weaponized Justice Department, and I'm a victim of it, is persecuting his political opponents. His administration is waging war on free speech. They're trying to indoctrinate and mutilate our children. He's leading us to the brink of World War III, and on top of all of that, he's the most corrupt president in American history, and it's not even close. But the good news is we are going to reverse every single crisis, calamity, and disaster that Joe Biden has created. I am running for president to end the destruction of our country and to complete the unfinished business of making America great again. We will make our country better than ever before, and we will always put America first. Thank you.
I certainly hope so, but things are going to get very tense very soon by mid to late summer, with other potential rivals challenging Donald Trump to the nomination. And maybe not even just no-name losers like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. If Ron DeSantis throws his hat in the ring, all hell is going to break loose. I'll be here to help try to bring some levity to the situation, whatever happens. And to support my work this year, sponsor me through Patreon or Subscribestar by clicking the links in the description below. They're basically services that allow viewers to sponsor their favorite YouTubers for $5 a month or however much you want. So appreciate all your support, guys. And if you enjoy these videos and you want to see more, click the links in the description below and check it out.